Guten Morgen an Tag 8 auf dem...
Good morning on day 8 on the way of St. James from Redondela to Pontevedra, with a few climbs, but we'll manage. I think we should be there in about 5 hours, and in a few kilometers there will be an opportunity to rest, and we're looking forward to that. But after a good coffee and a toast with jam, it's time to get going. See you later.
Mike, watch out.
Lord, make no more rain. So it will be good.
15% Steigung.
15% gradient. I misinterpreted that. I thought it was going downhill. But no. Come to Spain and Portugal, they said. Have a nice few days. It's mostly flat, straight roads, but we're not on the Meseta, we're in Galicia. Unfortunately, the Camino Portuguese is not flat.
We're at the top of our first peak today, 5 kilometers into our 20-kilometer hike. And we're getting ready to go downhill. There's a town off in the distance. Hello, Sebastian.
Hello. Psst.
Psst. Mike's got his sticks out now. Now he's running away from me. He's twice as fast as me. There are a few climbs this morning. It's going down now, but the reason it's going down is so they can just send us back up at the end. But the weather's okay, isn't it? It's not raining that much.
Wetter geht, ne? Regnet.
Of course it's hilly here. We're in Galicia. We have to get through it now. At least we can make sure we get 2 stamps a day. We even get more. Our stamp book is well looked after.
Oh, stamp.
We also find a nice restaurant for a quick snack in the suburbs of Pontevedra.
Buenos dias.
So we've just been given a tip. We should walk another kilometer in that direction and then take the road on the right. It's easy to slip on the left in this weather. Let's have a look. In Redondela, the coastal route of the Camino Portugues joins the central route. We notice that. It's getting fuller. Now we are also increasingly passing through small towns, which isn't always nice. However, we are always rewarded with beautiful views after ascending small peaks. According to some statistics I found online, the central route is slightly more popular than the coastal route. Well, I still don't have a comparison. I'll do the central route one day and then I'll be able to judge. But I think it's always subjective. I found the coastal route with all its small towns, historic forts, imposing churches and great albergues, the river crossing and much more really beautiful. Last but not least, we met some wonderful people here, and I think that's what makes every way of St. James such an extraordinary experience. Speaking of fellow pilgrims, in Pontevedra, we meet a funny German from Wessel, just outside the Aldi supermarket. Where else? If he ever sees this here, I salute you. Greetings, buddy.
We're across the street because our albergue is not too far. So you're at home, Aldi.
We'll go to the Basilica of the Pilgrim Virgin and maybe get a stamp there, and later we'll get something to eat.
You have to say,
Oh,
yes. I like it now because there's not so many people. It's really nice. Hola, this is Michael and Sebastian from
Pontevedra.
Pontevedra.
Somewhere.
We're sitting outside waiting on a glass of wine.
Yeah.
And I'll show you around a little bit. You can see we're sitting in kind of a square. And it's warm in the sun, thank goodness. Our Vino Blanco has arrived. And they brought us olives.
So nice. They always
Chips.
bring you something.
And they brought us some nuts.
How's the concert, Mike? You like the music?
Yes.
It's-
Good violin player.
yeah.
Stradivarius. He's playing Bach.
There's our albergue, and here I am, here in Pontevedra on day 8 of the Camino Portuguese, the coastal route. It's already day 8. I don't know how many kilometers we've already covered. On the speedometer, there are somehow around 70 kilometers that we still have to walk. But that's not quite right, because tomorrow we'll continue on the spiritual route. This will take us westwards via Armentera to Villanova, where we will then board a boat and travel towards Santiago, disembarking about 30 kilometers before Santiago to walk the rest of the way. In doing so, we are also following an age-old tradition. Well, what does tradition mean? This sea route is actually the origin of the way of St. James, as the mortal remains of St. James were transported there on a ship towards Galicia, according to legend. Today, and this may come as a surprise, it rained a lot. In fact, it rained all the time. At first, we were told it was raining from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. That wasn't quite true. It rained until 3 p.m. And as soon as we reached the village here, the sky cleared and we had sunshine, and could really sit in the sun and enjoy our well-earned vino blanco. Yes, you know how it goes. No vino, no camino. Beforehand, we actually had a nice pilgrim's menu with soup and fish, plenty of fish and potatoes, and the route was again peppered with a few climbs. It was about 20 kilometers in this direction, and it was fun. It was nice, but it would certainly have been a bit nicer if the weather had been better, and so there was always a certain dissatisfaction, not only among us, but also among the other pilgrims, which we all had to deal with somehow, but which we were thankfully able to resolve with humor at various stations from time to time. Sometimes everyone squeezed under a bus stop and just chatted, and there was a lot of laughter. I noticed that today, and it was also a bit fuller, I have to say. Not as full as last year on the Camino Frances, although it wasn't really full until mid-April. It's not even April yet, but we've seen the odd group of people and decided to book the rest of the trip a bit in advance. We found accommodation in Armentera tomorrow. We could have spent the night in a convent with the nuns, but as they said, you have to be a bit careful. You also have to send them a reason by email, and they won't accept an overnight stay of less than 2 nights, I was told. So you would have to stay at least 2 nights because they don't want this back and forth and this hustle and bustle, which I can understand. It would have been a nice experience. But we wanted to move on. We didn't want to stay there for 2 nights. That's why we stayed in the local standard albergue. There were about 2 or 3 supply stations today. Small stations where someone was selling something on a donation basis, handicrafts, chestnut men, or even fake autograph cards. No, that's rubbish. They were selling handicrafts, drinks and snacks. The people standing there were always very cheerful and happy. Basically, though, I noticed that it felt a bit different to last year. That may be because I'm much more trained than last year when I set off and I have no blisters, no pain, no matter where. So whether I walk 30 or 20 kilometers, I have no pain. I'm just a bit tired now. I've noticed that over the last 2 days, I'm tired in the evenings or afternoons. It's different, and of course the route is much shorter, and I've experienced for myself, and I've also been told by others, that you only really get into a completely different mood after 2 to 3 weeks, which is typical of the experience on the way of St. James. Ultimately, only people who have experienced it, like Tom, for example, can confirm this. He once traveled for 7 months. He said it changed his whole life. Before and after were incomparable. Oh, I think I'm already back home here. Well, that's right, here's a vending machine. Yesterday there were funny vending machines, weren't there? I need to drink more water. I realize that too, a lot more water. But you know what my favorite thing is? That's down there. It's my favorite, isn't it? But still, in conclusion, I would like to say that at times I have a similar feeling here as I did on the Camino Frances last year, namely a fusion of subject and object, the path and myself, the hiker on the outside and on the inside. The border between the two. Yes, it becomes permeable, and that is an interesting experience that I sincerely hope each and every one of you will experience, or perhaps you have already experienced, and then I can only congratulate you and say, welcome to the club. So, I want to go back now and thank you for watching. See you tomorrow on day 9 on the Camino Portuguese coastal route, which is now merging into the central route. After Pontevedra, we head north for a bit, 2 kilometers, then we have to take a sharp left somewhere onto the spiritual path, which will take us an extra 2 or 3 days, which we're really looking forward to. It will probably rain, but we'll take it as it comes. So thank you for watching. See you tomorrow, and yes, if you like what I'm doing here on my travels in Spain, please give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave a funny comment. Tell me what you think of the way so far. Ciao. See you tomorrow.